Good morning. I'm Carlos from the Ecumenical Institute for Labor Education and Research. I work there as a researcher, and I had the opportunity to read the entire paper by the eminent economist here. And just like to make some comments about the study. Well, I won't comment on standard error and sampling size, but this is more on the general framework and the policy proposals of the paper. As for the JEDI program, I think most of the items there are already in place, especially the relaxation on the minimum wage policy and creating spaces for income supplement and for instance, for the relaxation of the minimum wage, actually it's very important to deal with the question of compliance. It was mentioned earlier, but it was just said that bulk of the small and medium enterprises are not exempted from the minimum wage. But I think there should be somewhere in the study indicating the compliance rate in order for the observations to be valid. And because the general impression among workers is that most companies do not comply. And in fact, there are many schemes for companies to avoid implementing the minimum wage. I'd like to cite the workers who died at the construction site somewhere near here at the Ito residences. Remember 2 years ago, there were 10 workers who died when the gondola they were riding fell to the ground. We found out that they were earning 230 pesos per day, which is way below the 456 minimum wage rate during that time. And it appears that the multiple subcontracting has made it possible for small firms to pay workers wages which are way below the minimum wage. Now, there is also the two-tiered wage system policy being implemented by the Labor Department, and it was in fact piloted in Calabarzon. And in Calabarzon right now, while we are debating and discussing here the policy the proposal to moderate minimum wage in Calabarzon, it is actually being implemented that there is already a floor wage, which is way below the minimum wage. It's actually 255 pesos per day, way below the 327 minimum wage in Southern Tagalog. So it's not actually a matter of workers voluntarily opting out of the mandated minimum wage. It's actually a policy right now in Calabarzon. But the come on or the parang panghabol ng DOLE is that it is implemented on a voluntary basis by companies. But it appears that more and more companies are implementing the two-tier wage system in Calabarzon. Lastly, on the discussion of real wage, I think it was flagged in your study, the issue of declining real wage, but there was no discussion of inflationary effects on wages. And I think it's problematic for those who would be forced to earn wages below the minimum wage if inflation is taken into account. What will be the social protection mechanisms that will ensure that these workers who are let's say they opted out of the mandated minimum wage will deal with the inflationary effects and attain a decent sense of livelihood given the very low wages that he or she is earning. Thank you.